You know that moment right before bed when you're scrolling through your phone and you see another wellness guru claiming coconut oil will change your life? Yeah, I used to roll my eyes too. But then I spent 3 months testing this myself, documenting everything, measuring actual results, and what happened to my skin, my sleep, my hair, and honestly, my entire morning routine. I wasn't ready for that. Neither were the dermatologists I showed my before and after photos to. Before we get into what actually goes down in your body when you do this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for Real Logic Science, because we're about to break down the cellular biology that the beauty industry definitely doesn't want you understanding this clearly. They'd much rather sell you 17 different products than have you realize what one simple ingredient can actually do. Alright, here's the actual magic that happens, and I mean the real biochemistry, not the Instagram wellness nonsense. The moment that coconut oil touches your skin at night, you're not just moisturizing. Your skin cells are starting to absorb medium-chain fatty acids, specifically lauric acid, which makes up nearly 50% of coconut oil's composition. Now here's what nobody tells you. Lauric acid is one of the few fatty acids small enough to actually penetrate your skin barrier, rather than just sitting on top of it like most moisturizers. We're talking about molecules small enough to slip between the tightly packed cells of your stratum corneum, the outermost layer of your skin that acts like a brick wall keeping things out. Most commercial moisturizers, they're built with molecules too large to penetrate. They sit on your skin surface, create a temporary feeling of hydration, and wash off in the morning, having done essentially nothing for your actual skin cells. They're designed that way intentionally, because if they actually worked deeply, you wouldn't need to buy them again next month. While you're sleeping, your skin enters repair mode. Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., your skin cell regeneration rate nearly doubles. This isn't mythology. This is measured cellular biology. Blood flow to your skin increases by up to 20% during deep sleep. Your body starts pumping out growth hormones. Your cortisol levels drop, which means inflammation decreases. And if you've applied coconut oil before this whole process kicks in, those medium-chain fatty acids are now actively working as your skin is trying to heal itself from the day's damage, the pollution, the stress, the UV exposure you got, even through your car window, the blue light from your computer screen that's been generating free radicals in your skin cells all day. But this is where it gets interesting, where the science gets really specific. Lauric acid has powerful antimicrobial properties. Multiple peer-reviewed studies show it destroys the lipid membranes of bacteria, viruses, and fungi on contact. It's not some gentle, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't thing. Lauric acid literally dissolves the protective outer membrane of harmful microorganisms. So while you're unconscious, that layer of coconut oil is essentially creating a protective antimicrobial shield on your skin. Any acne-causing bacteria, like Propionibacterium acnes, any fungal elements trying to colonize your pores, any viral particles that might cause cold sores or skin infections, they're being systematically eliminated throughout the night. And unlike harsh chemical treatments that strip your skin and kill everything, including the good bacteria, lauric acid is somewhat selective. It targets harmful microorganisms more aggressively, while your skin's natural microbiome, the beneficial bacteria that actually protect you, stays relatively intact. This selectivity comes down to the specific structure of pathogenic bacterial membranes versus beneficial ones. It's not perfect selectivity, but it's better than most antimicrobial agents. Your skin cells are wrapped in phospholipid bilayers, basically tiny bubbles of fat molecules arranged in 2 layers. These membranes are what hold your cells together and control what goes in and out. The medium-chain fatty acids in coconut oil integrate directly into these membranes overnight, making them more fluid, more permeable, more efficient at nutrient exchange. Think of it like upgrading from old stiff windows that barely open to new, smooth ones. Your cells literally start functioning better. Waste products like dead organelles and metabolic byproducts get expelled more efficiently. Nutrients and oxygen get absorbed more readily. You're essentially upgrading your cellular infrastructure while you sleep. Now let's talk about what happens deeper in your system, because this is where things get wild. Some of that coconut oil gets absorbed into your bloodstream through your skin. Not a massive amount. We're not talking about eating it, but enough to be measurable. Transdermal absorption studies show that medium-chain triglycerides can penetrate through the dermis and into capillary beds, especially during the increased blood flow of sleep. Those medium-chain triglycerides, the MCTs everyone's obsessed with in their coffee, You're getting a slow, steady microdose through dermal absorption all night long. And MCTs do something fascinating in your body that long-chain fatty acids don't. Unlike long-chain fatty acids that get packaged into kilomicrons, sent through your lymphatic system, and eventually stored as body fat, MCTs go straight to your liver via the portal vein and get converted into ketones. This happens even in small amounts. Your liver doesn't care if the MCTs came from your digestive system or from transdermal absorption. It processes them the same way. Ketones are brain fuel. They're the energy source your brain switches to when glucose is low, and they're incredibly efficient, producing more ATP per unit of oxygen consumed than glucose does. People report better sleep quality, more vivid dreams, and clearer thinking the next morning when using coconut oil topically at night. Is it placebo? Maybe partially, but there's legitimate science suggesting that the transdermal absorption of MCTs could be influencing your overnight brain chemistry just enough to enhance sleep architecture and morning cognitive function. Studies on exogenous ketones show they can improve REM sleep duration and deep sleep quality. If you're producing even small amounts of ketones overnight from transdermal MCT absorption, the same mechanisms could apply. Here's something that surprised me in the research. Coconut oil affects your circadian rhythm signaling at the cellular level. Your skin has its own peripheral clock, separate from your brain's master clock in the suprachiasmatic nucleus. These peripheral skin clocks regulate when your skin cells divide, when they produce collagen, when they activate antioxidant defenses, when they're most susceptible to UV damage. The fatty acid composition of oils applied topically can actually influence these peripheral clocks by affecting the expression of clock genes like BMAL1 and PER2. The saturated fat structure of coconut oil appears to send timing signals to your skin cells that align with nighttime repair mode. You're essentially telling your skin, hey, it's time to rebuild now, in a language it understands at the molecular level. This isn't just poetic language. This is actual gene expression being modified by lipid signaling. Your cells read the fatty acid environment around them and adjust their behavior accordingly. During the day, your skin is in defense mode, producing melanin to protect against UV, pumping out sebum to maintain your moisture barrier, keeping cell division low to avoid replicating UV-damaged DNA. At night, those priorities flip. Cell division ramps up, collagen synthesis increases, DNA repair mechanisms activate. By applying coconut oil before bed, you're providing the lipid building blocks your skin needs exactly when it needs them most. And if you apply it to your scalp and hair, completely different mechanism, equally wild. Coconut oil is one of the only oils with a molecular structure small enough to actually penetrate the hair shaft rather than just coating it. Your hair is made of overlapping cuticle scales on the outside, protecting a cortex on the inside. Most hair oils are too large to get past those cuticle scales. They coat the outside, make your hair feel smooth temporarily, and wash away without changing the actual structure of your hair. Coconut oil is different. Its molecular weight and specific triglyceride structure allow it to slip between cuticle scales and penetrate into the cortex. While you sleep for 7 or 8 hours, it's moving into the cortex of your hair, the inner structural layer, and it's literally filling in gaps in the protein structure where damage has occurred. Hair is made of keratin proteins arranged in long chains held together by hydrogen bonds and disulfide bridges. Heat styling breaks these bonds. Chemical treatments destroy them. Even just aggressive brushing and the mechanical stress of hair ties creates microscopic gaps in these chains. Coconut oil seeps into those gaps overnight and prevents further protein loss when you wash your hair in the morning. Studies using radioactively labeled coconut oil showed it penetrating into the hair cortex and remaining there even after multiple wash cycles. It's not just coating, it's actually integrating into your hair structure. For your scalp, the antimicrobial action is even more dramatic than on facial skin because of the unique environment up there. Your scalp produces more sebum than almost anywhere else on your body. It's warm, moist, and covered with hair that traps oils and creates a perfect environment for microbial overgrowth. Dandruff, itching. Most scalp irritation that people think is dry scalp is actually caused by an overgrowth of a yeast called Malassezia globosa. This yeast feeds on the triglycerides in your sebum, breaking them down and producing oleic acid as a byproduct. For people sensitive to oleic acid, this causes inflammation, irritation, and the accelerated shedding of skin cells that we see as dandruff flakes. Lauric acid obliterates Malassezia on contact. The mechanism is direct membrane disruption. The lauric acid molecules insert themselves into the yeast's cell membrane, and destabilize it until the cell lyses and dies. Consistently applying coconut oil to your scalp at night can completely reset your scalp microbiome over the course of a few weeks, reducing the malassezia population to manageable levels and eliminating the inflammation response. But here's what nobody tells you about the downsides, because there always are some. And being honest about them is what separates real science from marketing. Coconut oil is highly comedogenic for certain skin types. If you're acne-prone, especially if you have oily skin with large pores, there's a decent chance this will clog your pores and make things worse, not better. The comedogenic scale ranks ingredients from 0 to 5 based on how likely they are to clog pores. Coconut oil scores a 4. That's high. The molecular weight of coconut oil is around 680 Daltons. Skin pores, especially facial pores that are already producing excess sebum, can easily get clogged by molecules in this range. The antimicrobial benefits might not outweigh the physical pore blockage. Also, if you're applying this to your face every single night, you might actually be disrupting your skin's natural oil production in a way that creates dependency. Your sebaceous glands are constantly monitoring the lipid levels on your skin surface through feedback mechanisms. If you're consistently coating your face in external oil, your glands might downregulate their own sebum production to compensate. Stop using the coconut oil suddenly, your skin goes haywire trying to recalibrate, often overproducing oil in response. You end up oilier than when you started. The other thing is oxidation. And this is crucial. Coconut oil is relatively stable compared to polyunsaturated oils because its fatty acids are mostly saturated, don't have double bonds that are vulnerable to oxidation. But it's not invincible. If your jar is old, if it's been exposed to heat and light repeatedly, if it's been opened and closed dozens of times exposing it to oxygen, those fatty acids can oxidize and turn rancid. Rancid oils are full of free radicals, highly reactive molecules that steal electrons from your cells, causing oxidative damage. Applying free radicals to your skin while it's in nighttime repair mode is basically throwing a wrench into your cellular machinery. You're causing oxidative damage at the exact time your skin is trying to repair oxidative damage from the day. It's like trying to fix your house while someone's actively breaking things. This is why quality and freshness matter enormously with coconut oil, in a way they don't with synthetic skincare products that are loaded with preservatives. Here's what I do, and what the research actually supports if you're going to try this. Quality matters insanely here. You want virgin, cold-pressed organic coconut oil in a dark glass jar. The refining process used in cheap coconut oil destroys most of the beneficial compounds. High heat refining denatures proteins, destroys polyphenols, eliminates vitamin E, and removes the natural antioxidants that make this actually therapeutic. You're basically left with just fatty acids and none of the phytonutrients. It'll moisturize, sure, but you lose 80% of the biological activity. Application technique matters more than people realize. You don't need much, and using too much actually reduces effectiveness because your skin can only absorb so much. A little bit, maybe half a teaspoon for your whole face, warmed between your palms until it liquefies. Applied to slightly damp skin right after a shower maximizes absorption. The water helps carry the oil deeper into your skin, layers through a process called occlusion. The water molecules hydrate your stratum corneum, temporarily expanding it and opening pathways for the oil to penetrate deeper. If you're using it on your hair, focus on mid-lengths to ends, unless you specifically have scalp issues you're trying to address. Starting application at the roots will make your hair look greasy and can actually clog your hair follicles if you're prone to scalp acne. Work it through with your fingers or a wide-tooth comb, focusing on the oldest, most damaged parts of your hair, which are the ends, and cycle it. Don't use it every single night, unless you're treating a specific condition like eczema or severe dandruff. 3 to 4 nights a week gives you the benefits without risking the disruption to your skin's natural oil regulation or creating dependency. Your skin needs to maintain its own homeostasis. If you're constantly providing external lipids, it loses the ability to regulate itself properly. The real magic isn't that coconut oil is some miracle substance that defies biology. It's that you're working with your body's natural overnight repair processes instead of against them. You're providing raw materials, molecular building blocks, antimicrobial protection, at exactly the time when your cells are most receptive to rebuilding and healing. Your skin at night is permeable, active, hungry for nutrients. Most people are sleeping with bare skin or with products full of synthetic chemicals that their cells have to work to process or eliminate, creating extra metabolic burden when they should be repairing. Coconut oil is simple. Its molecular components are things your body recognizes and can use immediately. Your cells don't have to figure out what to do with parabens or sulfates or synthetic fragrances. They know exactly what to do with lauric acid and capric acid and vitamin E. Is it going to transform your entire life? Probably not. Will it cure acne if you have hormonal cystic acne? No. Will it reverse 20 years of sun damage? No. But can it noticeably improve your skin texture, reduce minor inflammation, help with dry patches, improve your skin barrier function, potentially improve your hair condition, reduce scalp issues, and maybe even marginally improve your sleep quality through transdermal MCT absorption? Based on what I've seen in the research and tested myself for 3 months with weekly documentation, yeah, actually it can. The question isn't whether coconut oil does something when you apply it at night. The biochemistry is clear that it does. The question is whether what it does aligns with what your specific skin needs, and that's something you have to test for yourself, ideally over at least 4 to 6 weeks, to account for your skin's natural regeneration cycle. Stay curious, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one from Real Logic Science.